What reason do you have to reveal your secret to the world?
I am not a woman who enjoys repeating herself. Who are you?
I have many names. My people call me Khan, but my enemies call me Namor.
So after the attack, and then they figure out, okay, so water is his strength, so we need to dry him out. That's how we can weaken him. And then Fury starts working on the heart-shaped herb again, and she basically uses the bracelet from Neymar's mother to fill in the missing material needed to recreate the heart-shaped herb.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She uses her
so she makes a
3D
synthetic
printer.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Creates one, takes it for herself, which I have questions about that. She comes back with a new suit, says, I am the new Black Panther. Here's our strategy. We're going to lure them out near the water originally.
Are we going to be talking about her vision?
I think we're getting there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or because we're yeah.
Well, because she has the vision as she takes the heart. So yes.
Because
I skipped it.
The scream that left me when I saw who visits her.
Yeah.
Just
ecstasy?
Sometimes
pure ecstasy.
Sometimes I think I'm smart, right? But I'll never be Ryan Coogler smart, right? I can never just tie things together and give. There will never be a chance in my life where I'll be able to give somebody fan service, but make it so needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean,
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was sort of unexpected.
Yeah. Using Killmonger as the family connection that she has is incredible.
Well, and it really speaks to what Dixon is saying, her stuck in anger. If we're looking at 5 straight, she is just deep in anger, and it just is entirely summed up by him. And it's I had the same reaction, oh shit, didn't expect it at all.
But once you hear their conversation, it was perfect.
It makes perfect sense.
Only it would have been the only other person that would have been there to have talked to her at that point in her journey.
Yeah.
And I thought it was beautiful. I love this conversation about what are you going to do about it? Who are you going to become? Mm-hmm. After having seen so many different ways of being diplomatic and being, empathetic and stuff like that, the enemy you're going against right now isn't showing you any of that. So figure it out.
Yeah, she's been under 4 rulers now in the last, for her, 3 years. So
yes,
that's a lot.
Basically.
Yeah.
And she's basically told her, good.
I was gonna say, to the point that you said that she's been under 4 rulers, and she's going to continue the hierarchy, I guess, because she's like, no, we're still going to have kings and queens. I'm still taking this heart-shaped herb for myself. You guys can go. She doesn't share that at all. She's just like, it's mine. Yeah. You're muted.
I'm going to science this shit, and it's mine now.
The monarchy must live.
There you go, monarchy.
Well, there is a fun scene when she takes the herb, and I think it's not Okoye, it's Nakia that's there with her, right?
It's either Nakia or
Nakia, excuse me.
There's also
Riri.
Riri's there, but they basically say, well, we need to bury you in the earth. This is part of the ritual. No, I might have a heart attack. Just leave me on the slab, put my bracelet on me, monitor my vitals. And it's very much I'm here for the end result. And that also really ties into the Killmonger vision, her seeing Killmonger in her vision. The ends justify the means, get it done.
Yeah. So they come up with a plan. And again, this is where we get our last big
hold on.
Scene.
I want to point out her entrance into M'Baku's throne room, I guess, because this is where I was talking about, I was really impressed with the music. That entrance music for her version of Black Panther, with the drums, and then suddenly synth, almost Tron synth overlaid on it. That is just an incredible score and an incredible entrance, and it's going to be one of my favorite pieces of music in movies in the last 5 years. I just thought that was amazing. That's it. I just wanted to throw that out there.
She has her arm wrestling competition over the top.
She does. Yeah, she
just
Carl Weathers and Arnold
Stallone.
Schwarzenegger.
See, it's like an
So-
engine switch. It turns on. That's
Yeah.
no.
Now we're getting into it.
I
There
thought
we
you
go.
didn't like sports
So-
movies.
That's not a sports movie. That's a trucking movie. It's a slight difference.
Fair enough. So we're at the final battle scene plan, which again, like I said, was to lure them sort of offshore, close to a desert apparently. And they
Yeah.
attack, so they all kind of go at it. The Wakandans are on a submarine, looks like some sort of type of submarine thing. And
giant
the
battleship.
Yeah, it looked more like a
yeah, I
battleship.
guess. I did it have weapons though? It felt like it was just the top of a sub. Like I
Well,
don't.
the weapon was the noise thing.
Yeah, at
Okay.
the bottom,
The
underwater.
Oh, the world. What was that machine from some Man of Steel? The world engine.
Oh, yeah, the world engine. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe they call it the sandstorm.
Yeah. So yeah, they all go to battle, and we get finally, I believe, Shiri and Namor go off to the desert, where they have a quick battle. He overpowers her, runs her through,
Well,
and then starts
hold
to
on.
drag himself.
Hold on. Let's
say-
back up a little bit because we got to talk about the Ironheart suit.
Oh, I don't want to touch it anymore.
Get Ironheart suit.
Apparently, it's nothing but beauty,
Good.
and I should shut my mouth.
Good Ironheart suit. I'm gonna put it that way.
Is it good?
The
We're asking
good?
you. You're the one who. I think it's fine. Again, I'm
I
saying
think it's
like,
better than the first one.
I don't.
That's
yeah.
That's a fact.
it is one of the places I would say the CGI failed.
No.
Ouch.
I would say I get where they were going. I don't think they got there. And then there is also the Midnight Angel suits at that point as well, with Okoye running around in those. Go ahead, Jason.
And Anika.
Okay,
Yes.
so I understand Anika getting the Midnight Angel suit, right? You want to serve your home and your community in a way that is modernized and in a way that you want to try to think progressively for. I don't think Okoye ever should have gotten the suit. And this is why,
bitch,
right? Because I wanted her to beat the hell out of Atuma and figure out a way to do it under her own strength. Because I think I'm gonna get a lot of nods from this, but I think what we see in with Takolan is the sheer strength, the physical strength that they're coming from. And what we should have done in order to really separate Wakanda from Takolan is focus on the skill of Wakanda. And for Okoye to just beat him with the skill of Wakanda instead of like, oh, well, this is a suit that puts you on equal footing. I wanted Okoye is not a person who needs help, right? Like Okoye is the person who gets it done no matter what, right? And this is why I think she should no suit, right? Or give her the suit and it just breaks down. And
You remember
though?
though? Remember what was it? Was it an Infinity War?
Mm-hmm.
Was that what it was? She needed help from was it Scarlet Witch? I think.
Yeah, but
because she can't fight a god. Like she can't fight. She can fight. She can overpower humans, and she can power some superhumans. We're talking like god level beings that you're gonna need some assistance.
Tuma is
never
as
did.
strong as Heimdall. He's as strong as Tyr. He's as strong as the Warriors 3.
You mean all the dead
so
people?
he's as strong as base level. Yeah, base level Asgardians.
They're all dead.
Like you can't. Skill won't be able to bridge that gap.
We make the point that skill bridges the gap for people like Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And I think Okoye blows the both of them out of the water.
But I'm trying to think of an enemy that they've fought that's been of that level of strength.
I mean, Black Widow
Yeah.
lost to a cliff, so I don't know how you think.
How dare you, How
in both sense of the
dare
matter.
you. Why would you say that when I know where you live? Like, I don't understand.
Oh, it's gotten personal.
But yeah, I mean, who have they fought that has been on that same level?
All I'm saying,
And they've lived to tell the tale.
right?
Ultron.
We're just
They didn't fight Ultron. They
fought
didn't go
Ult-
personally against they fought like Ultron's minions.
which are
would
just
you s-
copies of Ultron.
No.
Atuma is
That
Yeah, but
giant,
they're
that
not
giant
made of-
Ultron was different than the other ones.
When I drop a 6-drop Ultron, he brings in other Ultrons on turn 6 in Marvel Snap. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Fair enough.
same thing.
Same thing.
It's my opinion. It's my opinion, right? I just feel as if we
It's
would have
a bad one.
it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one, and it's weird that you're holding the black woman down.
Hey!
I'm just
told her
saying,
to do it.
you don't think she
Wait.
you don't think she
pick herself up by her bootstraps is what you just said.
you don't think she could do it on her own?
Wait.
You don't think she can do it
You
on her
go
own?
to bootstraps.
She needs the help. She needs the help of technology, aka the white stuff.
Why don't you pick
help
yourself
out?
up by your
Oh,
bootstraps and
okay.
figure it out?
The black
Angry
teenager
black woman.
did invent it, guys.
All I'm saying is, first and foremost, Patrick should have his camera off right now. Patrick should have his camera off right now.
Oh, we just lost our Everett Ross.
Oh, no.
Back, Ross.
I'm just here to help, guys. I'm just here to help. Whatever I can do.
Look, it's this Deus Ex Machina. It's this, we don't earn the Midnight Angel suit, and I feel as if that was a very easy plot device in order to put in, instead of just, okay, no, cool, like, you can teach kids, you can do this under your own power.
I think I see where you're coming from, and again, I don't agree with it, but I do want to tie it back into your previous thought of multiple Black Panthers. Again, of all the, I know that there's a Monarch, and I feel like at the very end of the movie they fight against that as her like leaving or whatnot. We'll get to in a second, but of all the people who should have taken the heart-shaped herb, I believe Okoye should have been, if not, I mean, even over M'Baku, because I feel like she's had more experiences, both fight-wise and even in somewhat politics, to have taken that. She should have been amongst them. And if they could have figured out a way to make a council, the idea of having multiple Black Panthers to kind of throw people off in general, the fact that there isn't just T'Challa anymore, that he or it, the idea of Black Panther could be any and everywhere.
This is
To
Black
throw
Panther
people off
Inc.,
with-
like Batman Inc. You're like, look, I put
Kind
one in
of.
every country.
Well, just the idea of, you remember where they're saying, like, just as everyone's wondering, does Wakanda have a defender? There are defenders everywhere at all times now. It is no longer just we need to take care of or get rid of T'Challa. He seems to be, or the Black Panther seems to be everywhere at all times. And leading them should have been Okoye. I feel like she would have been, she knew how to fight. She was, I would assume, a better fighter, better in battle strategician than
Tactician.
than Shuri.
Strategist.
Yeah, I feel like she would have
Yes.
won that fight against Namor.
No,
If
she
she-
needed
if
artificial
they-
enhancements, okay? She's basically just shooting up like Captain America.
Ken,
Fair enough. But I'm just saying, I feel like, but
I
to
know where
tie
you
in Jason's
live.
point of multiple and her getting the suit and not having to deal with the Midnight Angels at all, like that would have been I felt would have been a better, more cohesive solution.
Is it?
Jason, I have to say, I like the thought, but I think you might have missed what could have been tremendous backlash if Okoye went up against Atuma and won, where M'Baku couldn't deal with a Telecon Indian, I can't, whatever, the Neo-Atlanteans.
The water people.
Talokan. It's not that hard to say.
There you go. The Neo-Atlanteans hand to hand and lost. So I mean,
Jason didn't
that
say
would
hand
have
to hand though.
been the
She can
He
still
said
use her-
strategy.
He's a strategy in spears. She can still use a spear, I believe.
Wait,
right?
are we in this argument? Is M'Baku a better fighter than Okoye?
I would say no.
No.
I would say no, but he's fought. Apparently he's going to fight for the mantle of Black Panther, and at one point, Man Ape.
No, he's gonna fight for the title of king. Black Panther is still going to be sure. I mean, we're jumping ahead, but he's not going to try and fight for the title Black Panther. He's going to fight for the crown. That's that final scene.
He said that final scene was, I am. Well, who is he fighting? He has to fight for leadership from the leader, and the leader.
The tribes or whatever.
The other tribes. The other tribes can say.
No.
Well, hold on, Dixon. That's why I was saying that they're bucking up against the monarchy, because she leaves. She just says, fuck it, I'm not ruling anymore. I can still be Black Panther and not be in Wakanda.
Yeah, I took it as he won by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying anybody wants to challenge me, you're more than welcome to.
Right? Was that not the lesson?
And no one's gonna be like, you know what? Yeah.
Now Okoye should.
Well,
Okoye, I don't know if Okoye's there. I think
Man-Ape-
she's off.
And she can pull herself up by her bootstraps while she does it.
She whooped the shit out of M'Baku.
Man Ape was supposed to be on par with Black Panther. I can't remember.
We don't use that word
but-
here.
Well,
That
that was his
phrasing
name in the comics. Is Man
doesn't
Ape.
make it right.
And so
Doesn't make it right.
he
Don't
was
have to
on
keep
par
repeating it.
with T'Challa. So, in terms of fighting skill, no. But in terms of
Brute strength, yeah.
the brute strength to win, yes.
No, but again, all joking aside, Jason's right. Like they tried to hint at that on the fight at the bridge.
Here's my question, and maybe this is the movie reason. In episode 3 of Star Wars, they wrote out this big old scene with Grievous and Obi-Wan. It's like, oh, it's gonna be so cool. They wrote out this, they planned out this whole scene is gonna be an epic battle, and at the last minute they said, well, we can't do that because it takes away from the other fights.
Yeah.
I wonder if part of it was, we can't have Okoye's fight. We need to highlight these other things here. So we're just going to deal with this way and not throw in this other arc about Okoye. I wonder if that has some to do with it, or if it is
Also,
we want to sell this toy.
Let's take a 30,000-foot view. Like they were fighting on water. Like she wasn't on land.
I don't have that toy.
Like
That was just
I'm saying-
poor tactics in the first place.
it was. Well, no, the plan was to draw Namor out. Like they were fodder, unfortunately. They just didn't last as long as I think she wanted them to. Like they were getting wiped out pretty badly. You don't fight on water basically against these people, and that's where they set up camp. So I don't know. To your point, Jason, I don't know how she would have out strategized him, because he could just he's fighting on his home territory, his home turf. She's at a disadvantage at that point.
There was a plan in place that they would then fly away, and they disabled the engines, which I still think is a bad plan to begin with. Because
that's not their plan was to, like I said, draw Namor. Like they weren't there to stay. They weren't there to fight them. They were just there to be like, here, we're in the water, come get us. And then she was gonna take Namor somewhere else, and they were all gonna like leave.
Right. But they got stuck there. I'm not saying, again, I think it was a bad plan as well. I'm just saying it wasn't all of the plan. The plan was like, we run afterwards. We run away. And then they're like, we can't run away.
How else would you draw him out?
I
think that's the only plan
Just draw him directly to the desert, and like that's where you start the battle.
Why would he go to the desert?
Because you have the machine that's drawing them in.
What machine?
The machine.
The machine that finds vibranium.
That's what they have on the ship. That's used as a signal to draw them in. To draw in.
Yes, but why would? Yeah. But I'm saying you're saying bring it on land. Why would he show up on land?
Because that's where the machine is.
To find this machine. If they turned on when they turned on the machine, his scientist said someone is trying to find vibranium. They turned on another machine,
Let's
and
go fuck
that's
them
what
up.
drew them.
Yeah, but if they're finding it on land, he doesn't give a shit.
No,
it's when they go in the water that they would be found.
He was mad that anybody could find vibranium at all.
No, he wasn't.
He was especially angry
that
it was going to be in the ocean.
He was upset because they were searching in the ocean. He didn't give a shit what people did on land. Vibranium is no concern. Like they have a whole stockpile of it underwater. Wakanda's vibranium doesn't matter to them. They're not defending Wakanda's vibranium.
The point, though,
so if they're searching for, go ahead.
The machine is the device that finds vibranium regardless of land, water, anywhere in the moon. And no, it finds it anywhere. It can find it anywhere.
Yeah, but it's only a threat to him underwater.
It's a threat to him in general. Because
its existence is a threat.
Its existence is a threat. That's why Shuri.
Okay, how about this?
Riri's existence is a threat.
They're not gonna
you know what else is a threat? Having Wakanda exist is a threat.
Yeah,
at
but
that point.
He knows that he probably doesn't have the resources to. Well, maybe doesn't have the resources to take out Wakanda. As he's posturing. He's a posturing imperious Rexing.
I don't think he postures.
Hey, on his little
that's all
flippy
Neymar
wings.
does.
I would say
my point is,
I would say that he's posturing because even at the end of it, right? Like he's like, oh, I'm still playing this diplomatic political game, right? He would have never asked them to be an ally unless there is a need, right? If he could do this all on his own, he didn't need contact with them.
Well, he states at the end, they're the most powerful country in the world. They're the most powerful
nation
entity on the world.
Yeah.
On land.
I should ally to them. I should ally with them.
No,
and then I'll have.
He says they will be friends. He says they will be friends until at which point that dynamic changes. Like he's not saying I want to side with them. He's saying like we'll bide our time. They will defend land right now. If it ever has to cross that, then we'll come to that point.
But what he's saying is we're going to use them as cannon fodder. They're the
Basically.
first line.
Yes. Yeah, dude, but there's also there is a level of he understands that they are a threat to him. So even if you think you can beat them, like we were talking about tactics earlier, even if you think you can beat them, you still don't want to have that fight because he knows that they at least are going to bloody his nose. Like let's put it that he believes he may still win, even though he just got his ass handed to him by the end of the film.
Make him bleed his own blood.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they still are a threat at a certain level.
Let's put it this way: when he first attacked them, he could have wiped them out then. Could he not have? Before he gave her a chance to take the heart-shaped herb or whatever, he could have just destroyed whatever that city was and the rest of Wakanda. He chose to back off for whatever reason.
I don't know if he could have.
And also, if he
it was
hypothetically,
it was
he does,
him.
The rest
it was
of the
him
world,
and 6 people.
Right, but if he takes out Wakanda, that is a beacon that there is a bigger threat on the board, and now you have the Avengers after you.
Who?
Nobody
knows where Wakanda is.
Captain Marvel. That's it.
Also,
boom, done. We're done with the conversation. Captain Marvel will burn his ass out.
There's not like the ocean is there's not the same water. He can't dump in the water in the mountains. I know there's snow, but he can't like jump into water to refresh in the mountains. There is a radius to what he can do, especially without his backup. Like his backup can only go so far.
Right.
They can bring buckets of water and maybe Nestle get some water bottles on and stuff.
No, he can't afford that.
But my point is, regardless of that, the reason why he was feeling as threatened as he was, because again, Wakanda is a land full of vibranium, which is, according to you guys, a threat to him. As soon as T'Challa made Wakanda a known entity, he should have showed up and be like, all right, you gotta take this out. Like, we can't let this, because once they find them, they're going to look for more. They're going to keep looking. The reason why he started showing up is because they're looking underwater specifically. That's where he and his people are. If they come across us, we are now on their radar. We wanted you guys to quietly get rid of this idea, this threat. I don't care what they do. They don't know where Wakanda's at. They can't hunt down your vibranium. You guys have defended it well. I don't give a shit.
They know where Wakanda's at.
I think they know where Wakanda is at this
People
point.
don't.
Yeah, they do. People know where Wakanda is.
I mean, education
it's still disguised.
Education
when they fly back in there, it's disguised.
But they know where it is. You can't say like, oh, they don't know where Tustin is.
They know it exists.
They know exactly where Tustin is. They just fly over to it. It looks like a little orchard.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So they don't know where it's at.
I think it's still like Gorilla City, where they can't.
Whoa, that's not. We don't use that word here. That is messed up, man. I don't know where you think we're okay with saying that. Still, this is wow.
Well, I mean, I would even argue in Civil War, right? In Captain America Civil War, the nation of Wakanda responds to their people dying, right? Mm-hmm. There's a nation on the map. Now, if you don't know exactly where it is on that map, I kind of understand what you're saying, but no, like, physically where Wakanda is.
The difference, right. You don't know what Wakanda is, and that was the point of the disguise.
That's fair.
There's no understanding of how far technologically advanced they actually are, because there's no insight into that. Like in Civil War, Wakanda is just thought of as kind of just, well, it's another African nation, and it's just part of, they've hidden their true abilities and powers from the rest of the world, and there's still some of that. Like,
okay,
it's
but in Civil War, the vibranium discussion was an underground discussion. Like, people weren't saying Wakanda's full of vibranium. They just knew that they were a nation, right? In this movie, they are specifically at a UN, which is televised, saying like, hey, you guys have a ton of it and you're not sharing it. So in between them being a little nation to at some point them broadcasting under the UN, Namor would have been like, hey, this is an issue.
Do you think
we
he gets
need to
cable down
stop
there?
this.
I mean, do you think that Cox and stuff, like, they have TVs that tune into that?
he applied for DirecTV, but he's facing the wrong way.
See, there you go. That's
it costs too much.
But he knows that he knew when they were having the discussion on the beach that Wakanda has vibranium, and he explains like, you're not the only place that has it. It fell other places. There's a ton of it in the ocean, and this machine is down here searching for it, which is a threat to us. Like, they can come across us.
okay.
I'm saying when they turn on the machine on land, to him it's like, oh, they're looking for vibranium like they always do on land.
Right, but that's the
why would he respond to it at that point is on land if it's not in the water?
Because they know that the machine and the maker are at that
Jason.
location. Sorry.
I would also argue, though, that I think this is also the exact reason why Namor comes to Wakanda in order to try to build an alliance, right? What is a threat to you is a threat to me, or excuse me, what's a threat to me is a threat to you, right? Yeah. So I would argue that his original point is, okay, they're looking for vibranium underwater. This is going to affect you at one point. This is why we need to ally, right? And I think it works both ways as well, too. If you have another machine, you could make the argument to Namor that, okay, I'm using your same exact logic now, right? Now they have a machine on land. You need to help me out. That's how they draw them out.
Okay.
And they still wanted Riri. If anything else, Riri's on with her machine.
He had Riri. That's my whole point. Is he let
Riri go, and they let her go.
So he doesn't want her.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
He had his chance to kill her,
but he didn't because he was trying to build a diplomatic bridge with Shuri. Regardless of everything else that happens, he wanted Riri. And
really, the problem that we have with Namor, even in the first place, is just his diplomatic relations. It's like he has all the guns of the military. He has no sense of statecraft. And if he had even an ounce of statecraft, I don't think any of this would have happened.
It's hard to have statecraft when you are a god.
Right.
Well, also, but again, it's that equation of one for the many, though. Like, you get rid of Riri and Wakanda, and both Talokan or whatever are technically safe, so to speak.
That's the funny thing. You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. The machine has been invented. It's not like they didn't write it down. Like, well, what do you do? Oh, okay, they took it apart and put it back together again. They could make the machine again. We're done. Like, once. Yeah. It's also extremely short-sighted of him to think that, like, well, if we kill her, we're done. Like, no, the machine was created. We're done now. Like, they can do it. You have to deal with that reality of the situation. And I think, Jason, to go back to your point, it is because he doesn't have statecraft, and because he only thinks in a certain path. He can't expand.
What would his statecraft have won him, though? If the machine is already developed, he doesn't need Wakanda then. He doesn't need to talk to them anymore.
He does.
They are useless. No, he doesn't. No, he's not dealing with them anymore. If the machine is already made, they've already failed.
I would argue that now that you've made yourselves known, you do need them, because now it's anonymity that they're depending on.
Wait, say it again.
Anonymity. It's anonymity.
Yeah, I know what the word means.
Yeah, like it's the they have revealed their hand, like just like the Talokan.
But they haven't.
No
one's seen them
except the Wakandans.
To Wakanda.
To Wakanda, yes.
Yeah, except the Wakandans, who now have all of the power once they're revealed. Because
I'm saying, what is the relationship if like as you guys said, the machine is already made. Getting rid of Riri wouldn't have done anything. At that point, they have no relationship with Wakanda, regardless of who's seen whose existence. Wakanda stays on land, they stay in the water. Their real enemy are the people making the machine. So unless Wakanda is going to defend the people making the machine, there's no reason why they ever need to interact with each other.
Unless they defended
Wakanda,
Riri. That's the person who made the machine.
No, but I'm saying they're not trying to kill Riri. They're trying to kill the people who keep making the machine.
So in that scenario,
is that what you're saying?
Sorry, Jason.
Where were you on January 6th?
Jeez. In that scenario,
a little outing.
In that scenario, though, the balance of power is still with Wakanda because Wakanda knows of Namor and his people's existence. What is to stop Wakanda to just be like, hey, stop coming at us. Why don't you go underwater and find them?
That's my point. They wouldn't come to Wakanda anymore. Their conversation, their interactions have now ceased. If he were to follow your logic of saying, we don't need to kill Riri, kill the people who keep making the machine.
So, okay.
We don't need to deal with Wakanda. They are a non-entity to us.
So in that scenario, then it's just, okay, well, go back home, hunker down.
But also
either that or you start attacking people on land, like the people who keep making the machine.
Or you sucker punch them. Thanks, Kareem.
Preemptive counter strike.
Preemptive counterattack. But this is why they need Wakanda. No matter how powerful they are, they can't take on the whole world. And what they're doing at that point is they are now the boogeyman for the rest of the world.
But my question is,
resource we want, and you attacked us. They need allies. They're going to.
Here's my question then. Okay, you say they need allies. Their ally isn't willing to do what they need them to do. They're not an ally. If their point is we can't reach people on land because of our limitations, we're going to rely on Wakanda to do it. And Wakanda is saying we're not going to kill anybody. We're not getting rid of the people who make the machine. What good are they to them?
Wakanda is the front.
What
was the first thing?
They're not doing anything.
When Talokan first attacked, what was the first thought of everyone? Wakanda's attacking. And I think Namor kind of points this out, like, yeah, we're friends with Wakanda now. Wakanda's going to take all the slings and arrows. They're the ones known with vibranium. They're the leader in the world in that. They're the one that everybody knows they have the resource that they want.
Oh, okay.
I just also want to point out that we've had 2 films this year that dealt with blue people and being underwater. And
we've had 1 film that I've seen.
But there are 2 films in existence, Kareem. Okay.
Whatever.
But
Cameron apologist.
Okay, I did not see it either. Okay, I'm not going to
raise your hand if you saw Avatar 2. Anybody? Thank God.
Good.
All right, please continue.
Moving on. So we had 1 movie.
Moment of silence for taste. No, it's just it boggles me, right? That like the blue people that are underwater aren't even the main focus of this film. And they still did a better job with the time that they had on screen than anything I've seen from the Avatar series. Look, I'm glad it's going to make a friggin' $1 billion or whatever by the end of this year. Good. I think it already did. Right? Yeah, I think it already made it, but good for them. It's just, I just still think it's not culturally impactful.
Oh, wait. It's a tangent, but good for who? Who's the them in this scenario? The billionaire James Cameron?
The people who worked on it.
Disney? Who's good for them?
No, I'm talking about like CGI people and
Hold on. That was not a good for them. That was a good for you.
Yeah, that was a bless your heart.
It's bless your heart. Okay.
Yeah, that was a bless your heart. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a southern good for you.
Once we get married, he won't be watching as much football.
Bless her heart.
It's I think when it comes to Avatar, though, you got to see it in theaters or it's truly pointless. That's the only way. Otherwise, it is going.
I think it is just truly pointless.
I
saw Ferngully.
It is right. That's what they want. Be amazed by the spectacle. I'm not going to see it, but whatever.
I'm not either. So we get to our final moments where we're about to wrap up this movie.
James Cameron comes in.
Quick question.
It redirects game everything. Over, man. Game over.
A quick curiosity: who saw the first Avatar?
Not in theaters.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it at all. I was just curious if
you're not missing much.
But and that's also just a statement that none of you went back for the second hit.
No.
So.
No, it was beautiful. Like it was amazing to look at. It's eye candy, but it's like, okay. Like,
What else
yeah,
you have?
I have incognito browsers for eye candy. Like I don't need.
Oh, look at Dixon. Incognito, you say? Who is this incognito?
Who's this guy incognito?
Does
Dixon
he have
in
what
the
I
corner
need?
just taking notes.
You say he wears a hat and glasses, huh? So yeah, she burns him out. They come to an agreement, I guess, at the end of I want to attack you, you want to attack me.
An unsteady alliance, yes.
Yeah, and like there's a fairly bloodless fight. Like she gets skewered through her abdomen, but like there's no blood on the thing either. Which
it's protected by the suit.
The suit gathers back up and puts it back inside of her.
So remember when they put the Kimura beads into Everett Ross? So
yeah, I agree.
Okay, it was funky that she let it go all the way through her, and you see the suit mending itself.
Yeah,
but you didn't see the suit mending her.
Yeah,
and then she was
she's got a hole.
agile afterwards.
Yeah,
so I was kind of like,
she is bleeding out.
But the suit's protecting her too, which I'm fine. It just kind of the bloodless nature of a Disney movie is there as well. If we want to talk about that, but it's I'm saying I know that there's literal plot armor on her for that, and that's fine. I'm accepting of that. This isn't Cole from Mortal Kombat where it's plot armor. It's acceptable.
Physical plot. Does he grow those wings back?
Oh, he'll grow the wings back. He's gonna.
So
I'm assuming it's like
he has in the past. He does have a healing factor in the comics.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that there's in the same way we do this. Also, like we're jumping pretty quick here. He does get to say his line, Imperious Rex.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That's cool as shit.
I'm hoping he gets to bring out a monster or a kaiju or whatever next time.
I wish we would have had it at his first attack on Wakanda. Is when that Imperious Rex should have come out. And personally,
I think so.
that
I agree.
It should have been a more boastful Imperious, and just like right when he nails M'Baku, like just to show that power and to highlight that. That's his braggadocious nature of like, ha ha ha, it's me, Namor.
That's his battle cry.
Yeah, and so to have it like he's like it's his. I could do this all day. Didn't feel right. I wish we would have had a different moment.
I
feel like his battle on the water / desert, whatever, was more of his. We're going to war versus like I'm going to give you a taste because he does leave. Like I'm going to give you a taste of what I can do. So it wasn't really the war cry behind that because he wasn't going to finish it off.
That's
this one. I felt like he was like I'm going to kill everything that's in my way right now.
Right. So then have that at the launch of the fight when they first take the boat.
Yeah.
Not when he's on the ropes.
I would also say I am not looking forward to the inevitable like power nerf that they're going to give him once he starts being a good guy.
What do you mean they're gonna put him on a sweater and have him sit next to the Hulk?
Exactly, right?
You want a tiny taco?
I mean, once he gets a square up against Doom, it'll be pretty nice. Like when we get Doom and when we get like the key players, like the power pack up there.
Like Hulk?
Oh no, like
the power pack.
The actual power pack?
The actual
I'd be very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I love those kids who are given powers by space horses. It's awesome.
Goodbye, space horses.
But no, like
all right.
But I mean, like
you're on your own there, Ross.
I'll stick with it.
There is going to be obviously a power because the same way we have to have someone come in as a jobber and like, oh, look how much Thanos just beat up the Hulk. I didn't even use the glove. Like, there's going to be those moments, but I'm hoping that we do get a moment where he's like pulling again. I'm referencing Black Adam where he's just like hovering in the air.
I really liked this movie.
I really
liked Black Adam.
It's just he loves the new power hierarchy.
The hierarchy in DC. It just because there's so many parallels between them that I want to see him just hovering above the ground. That he's I'm not even worthy of touching your ground. That's how powerful I am. Like next to Latveria or Dr. Doom in Latveria, he's like, I never set foot on your land. Like that type of one-upsmanship from Namor. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
We get to our final and I guess last sort of scene or whatever, which is kind of the twist that Pat was talking about time travel and whatnot. We get to find out why Nakia had to deal with T'Challa's death in a different way. We find out that she and T'Challa had a kid who is now, I don't know, is it 5, 6?
Yeah, because he was there
6.
before.
Yeah.
She was pregnant with the child before the snap.
Yes.
Out of wedlock, T'Challa.
Now, I would say, as
and she named it T'Challa.
Like, as a viewer who is invested in the Marvel films and who love them, like, you know, for better or for worse, I personally needed something like that.
Yeah.
I understand professionally that might not have been the strongest narrative move, but personally, I need this. Let me have this.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Like, I can't argue somebody like, oh, it derails the story and it's too plot convenient and it's like self-inserty. Okay, I get the arguments, right? But let me have this.
Yeah.
I will Dixon, I don't know if you had something to say there for a minute. I will interject now is that there's actually, it's come out that the story for the original Black Panther 2 was going to be about T'Challa and Toussaint.
Mm-hmm.
And that he Toussaint. And that he, after he comes back from the blip, he sees that Nakia, he sees Nakia, she's with another man raising his child. And it's because he was gone in the blip, and how T'Challa is now playing the role. In the first movie, it was the father-son story from the son's point of view. Now it's a father-son story from the father's point of view, and seeing how T'Challa will reconnect with his son after being gone for 5 years, and what that means, and how that role is played out with the new hierarchy of power in the Marvel universe, and how that is how he spends time with his son and that kind of thing. And that was the original story, was going to be that. So it's interesting to see that like Toussaint was there because kind of from the word go, like they had already planned that. And it was just kind of like they just had to shift things around, which I didn't know that until recently. I'm like, that's really interesting, because also it's worth noting that this an heir to T'Challa has never existed in standard 616 Prime universe. There's like a couple different alt timelines and stuff that there is children there.
I thought him and Storm had kids.
Not in the Prime universe, not in 616.
Oh, okay.
In there are some kids in other timelines and other alternate storylines, but and they are the son of T'Challa and Aurora Monroe, but not in the Prime universe. So it was kind of interesting.
Gotcha.
Oh, they took a different tactic here, because Nakia also in the standard comics, Nakia is a villain, which is goofy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so is Catwoman.
Yeah.
Well,
but Nakia is like full, like
sexy
all the way crazy, like she's really out there, as opposed to like an anti-hero as everyone begins to become if they're cool enough, like Catwoman or Poison Ivy or Harley. They think, oh, you people like you enough, you're an anti-hero now, you get to have a shirt at Hot Topic, it's okay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I just thought that when I heard about the inclusion of Toussaint from the first draft, was like, oh, okay, that's that I didn't see that coming at all, because it was very much for me out of left field, but it would have been an interesting story nonetheless.
I did not hate it at all. I actually agree that I thought it was well done. But I do think there's a fast forward button here now, given the use of time travel, where new T'Challa may just swing on back, like, oh, I gotta stop something from happening, and maybe I'll stick around a while, see what goes, you know.
Yeah, and that does tie me to my comment that I had on our Black Panther trailer talk, is that I thought T'Challa was too big a character, that you still needed to have that role in the Marvel universe, and that recasting should have been reevaluated as time went on. Like, I understand it's like a gut reaction, say, no, we're not going to do that, but then as time goes on, give yourself the opportunity to recast T'Challa. And they did that with just a different sleight of hand, and like they named it T'Challa, which also, like, T'Challa, son of T'Challa, I was like a little hat on a hat, but I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Royalty never does that.
My question then, because I guess we're officially done with the recap, was that if you say we need to have that character in the MCU, but we won't be getting that character. We won't be getting that T'Challa with those experiences and that history with everyone else from the MCU. We're going to be getting a new guy named T'Challa.
T'Challa
We're
2.0. Yeah.
So I mean, couldn't we just? You don't need to recast him. You could replace him like you did with, again, my idea of just having Okoye there. Like, she knows everyone. She knows all the other Avengers. She knows everybody else. She would have history with them as being a Black Panther. You don't need to have a male T'Challa be a Black Panther because you're not going to get the same one that you had with.
I think we're on two different threads here. I think
you said recast, right?
I said recast the original T'Challa. And that's what my reference was. Saying that we're going to get a T'Challa nonetheless is we're going to get the T'Challa 2.0 that we're going to have from an aged up to Saint. That's where I think the things are going. Going back to your thought, though, is like you're saying like, oh, we could have had a different person out of the hierarchy, which is fine. It's just a different discussion. I didn't mean to cut off Jason.
I would argue, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Dixon. Where you going?
Well, I think you're probably going to jump where I'm going, where the mantle of Black Panther T'Challa is as important in a community as Clark Kent is as Superman. You have Superman, if and when someone dies, they recast the character. It's not like, oh, that character is too important to DC Comics and we're never going to have another person play them in a movie. It's, hey, that person's important to our comic genre and we're just going to recast them, even respectfully, because everyone dies at some point.
What? Spoilers? Shit. Fuck.
Well, I'm going to die someday anyway, right? What?
Honey, wow. Are you kidding
Really?
me? You just ruin it every time. I'll see you at home.
Well, wait a second.
Rude.
Now, how would you not know that was taking place?
Sorry.
for me on this one, right? I think having a younger T'Challa who is learning from both the legacy of his father and the mentors that he had and being mentored by people that surrounded him, loved him, and that trust him, right? I think this is going to be really important to move the T'Challa legacy into the next viewing generation, right? I think it gives us the perfect, well, because I've been yelling this from the rooftops ever since like just people started showing up. I can't wait for the Young Avengers film. Right? Like I am more excited for a Young Avengers film than I am for a regular Avengers film. And for me, I think to have like a teen Black Panther, and the struggle is to live up to this legendary status that your father had, and like and understanding like that, like the lens of legacy through failure, I think is going to be beautiful, right? But on the more practical side, this is going to be a teen Black Panther, where now people who are 10, 15, 20 years younger than us are going to be growing up with the same feeling that a lot of these kids got a few years ago with Chadwick Boseman for showing up as the Black Panther.
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know, please.
I was going to say, I feel like, and again, this is just me being me, so you guys can all jump on me about this. I feel that we are conflating Chadwick Boseman's presence as T'Challa with the MCU's actual T'Challa. Like, he was Black Panther for like a year or two before he disappeared, came back, and then died. So as far as this legacy that you're saying, like his grandfather has a much stronger legacy than trying to live up to his dad's legacy, because he fought Killmonger and that was about it.
Yes.
And he ended up getting killed.
I will amend it by saying the meta legacy then, because now Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman are intrinsically tied together now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And to your point too, the legacy of his father is stronger, but that's also the legacy of the as far as the legacy within Wakanda. Outside of Wakanda, the Black Panther that everyone knows about in the Marvel Universe world is T'Challa. They never saw King T'Chaka as Black Panther. They never saw
Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther.
They did. They saw him. He ran around.
Saw him chased out. He chased down Winter Soldier, and that was it. He didn't do anything heroic.
Then he also approached the UN and was like, "Hey guys, guess what? Wakanda's the awesomeness. We're also going to have little satellite offices because we're cool, and I'm the Black Panther." And it's a public known thing that he is the Black Panther. So it's
what has the Black Panther done in public though?
I mean,
all of the outreach programs, like the science outreach programs.
Black Panther, Chadwick did that. Black Panther didn't do that.
No, not
What-
Chadwick.
I'm saying-
T'Challa.
T'Challa, sorry.
Black
My
Panther.
apologies.
It's fine.
T'Challa
No, it's
did
fine.
it.
But
T'Challa did it. But what has Black Panther done that the public has been like, oh, that's Black Panther did
Does
that?
it? Does
Did
it?
somebody
did
somebody record the Endgame fight and they just like released it on
No.
the internet? Like,
No,
I
they
just
did.
No.
I
They
just
100%
assumed.
did.
I
Yeah,
just assumed that
I'm
everybody saw the
footage
Endgame fight.
of that fight. Like it's out there.
Who
Like
recorded it?
I did
That's
with
how
my
everybody
phone.
knows what the fuck happened. Like everybody, like, oh yeah, you know, when you guys fought Thanos, how did anybody know that?
I'm just assuming there were like news helicopters and social media influencers.
TMZ was right there, and they were
Yeah.
just
Fair
like
enough.
watching this.
I apologize. I missed that. I didn't
World
realize
Star?
people
Well,
were
and
recording that.
You know, somebody, probably one of the magicians, probably one of the Doctor Strange crew, had their cell phone out and was like filming.
And
it.
even at that point, like
This is Madison.
helped
with
it, but
two-
he also wasn't a standout from that though. If anything, you're going to be looking at Tony, maybe that one minute fight between Captain Marvel and Thanos. Like Chadwick was just there, just like everyone else was there.
Tony definitely
T'Challa. I
recorded it.
apologize.
Tony 100%. Everything he sees when he is in his suit
Probably.
is recorded.
I will say this:
Just the vanity of that, right?
Yeah, it's true though.
in
All of
Quantumania, we know for a fact that Ant-Man writes a book. Think of the Little Guy, I believe is the name of it. And people are like, hey, thanks, Spider-Man. If Ant-Man is a big enough hero, a big enough person in the lexicon of society, that people are like, hey, Scott Lang is a superhero, they know T'Challa. Like, I'll just put it that way.
No, but okay, hold on. He also like moved a boat as a 20-story person. Like people have seen him do things outside of the battle in Wakanda. He wasn't there, or the battle at Endgame. Is what I'm saying is like I don't think the public in general has seen Black Panther do anything.
I think that this is very much a Pepper Potts moment, and you're just like you're denying the facts
Saying
we're
based on
giving
the
you.
based on what the MCU's shown us. He hasn't done anything that the public would know about.
I think that him addressing the. Oh, go ahead.
That's a good point. He's saying, do the general populace know, and will the general populace revere the mantle of Black Panther as the all-around hero outside of Wakanda as the Wakandans do? And I think he may be right. Like, the general public would not necessarily know or venerate his legacy like the people of Wakanda would.
I can only speculate, right? We can only speculate at this point. I could speculate that because Black Panther is a Black hero, like say for example, how much Black Twitter would have just lost their minds, right? Or like, so I would say that I could speculate that there would be outside sources, and we do see this in Miss Marvel a little bit, where there very much is that superhero culture online.
Because they've seen stuff online.
Yeah, it's speculation.
His exploits aren't.
Yeah, I can give you a speculative answer without any proof. There.
If Thanos is known enough, and the only thing we would have had on Earth would have been the fight in Wakanda and then the fight at the Avengers compound. If Thanos is known enough that people have written on walls Thanos was right, then people know who Black Panther is. I think that that's a fair enough of a connection to make.
How are we making that connection? Thanos physically got rid of people. That's how they make their connection. When they tell a story?
Doesn't
people
Queen
tell stories?
Ramonda,
go ahead.
Sorry. Doesn't Queen Ramonda literally say, you think we are weak because we are without our Black Panther? Doesn't she say something along those lines to the UN?
The king is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think we are weak? Yeah.
So
he's known as that.
So here, let me put some. Let me throw the race card in here.
Can you pull an actual race card out of your wallet real quick?
Just
it's like Gambit.
My wallet's over there, but the things that blow up in Black America aren't necessarily the things that blow up all around the country. So
why do we care about Muggles?
There could be.
Sorry,
you lost me there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
Harry Potter thing.
-1 point for Gryffindor.
Ravenclaw. Okay, let's be clear about this.
Dixon tried. Just
motherfucker. Hufflepuff.
Right. So I think Black Twitter, Black YouTube would blow up in universe, but I think that may be as far as it goes. Like, there's still people who get angry and jealous when anything or anyone of a dark complexion does something fantastical. So I think in universe, that alone would stop it from being general knowledge. He wouldn't be a household name.
I think to my point though was that the character is the character of Black Panther T'Challa has a legacy, and even if it's to just the Black Twitter users, that is still a legacy larger than that of T'Chaka. That was my point.
But I'm saying people. Go ahead.
And if the argument is that in Wakanda, T'Challa has less of a footnote in history, I would agree with you. But I'm saying outside of Wakanda, for the better part of the world, even if it's just the Black Twitter part of it, there would be a bigger footprint for T'Challa as the Black Panther than there would be for T'Chaka.
So I do agree with that because I mean people have heard of T'Challa. Like, people have heard of T'Challa, right? Like,
T'Challa, yes.
So, but what I think the argument that Kareem has is, even if we can speculate that the Black Panther and T'Challa have reached the zeitgeist, right, of politics in the world and culture in general, right? There's nothing in the MCU text that outright shows us that he's popular, right? Like, did we see any Black Panther cosplays at AvengerCon in Ms. Marvel?
I was literally looking that up right now.
So yeah, because I was like, wait, because I don't think I remember one.
And I'm saying the only, as far as the MCU is concerned, the only footage that we have, or that the general population would have of Black Panther, is him chasing Winter Soldier.
I mean, technically,
that would be the only thing that, and I'm saying Black Twitter would probably more, and by Black Twitter I mean like also Black people,
the zeitgeist
outside of Wakanda would know more about Falcon than they would Black Panther if they were going to talk about any Black superhero. Because they've seen him do things. He's done more in the public eye than Black Panther. Minus T'Challa. Like, they can say like, oh, I saw, PBS or whatever, and he was on the UN, addressing the nation. I know T'Challa, and they might root for him. He's opening up all these like resources in the States and stuff like that. Like, we root for T'Challa. Black Panther as a superhero, they haven't seen. He hasn't done anything.
And Sam Wilson has taken up in the MCU. I think Captain America is the most popular superhero, like, by a lot. And Sam Wilson has taken up that mantle. So Sam Wilson, I think,
by association.
I think Sam Wilson is going to be a more important figure in the world at large from like a superhero standpoint, from what people think about as superheroes in the MCU. I think Sam Wilson is more important than Black Panther in that regard, just because. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in terms of Hulk had an ice cream flavor and Doctor Strange had an ice cream flavor. I don't think Sam Wilson did. I don't know about Black Panther either. But we were talking about popularity.
Technically, Sam Wilson would have gotten American Dream, and we all know that, right? We all know that, right?
And there would have been angry Twitter rants about that.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculative.
Hulk also visibly saved New York, so that's why he gets an ice cream flavor.
Hulk, yes. I mean, again.
Doctor Strange got good PR.
Wait, why did Doctor Strange get anything then?
Did he get?
That's a good question.
Well, it just comes down
Doctor Strange.
I'm trying to remember who actually had the flavors. I know it's Hulk because it was like they had made a joke about it, but I don't know if Doctor Strange did.
I think it was just Hulk with the flavor, because I was like, wait, what did Doctor Strange do?
I think Iron Man
Doctor Strange hasn't done anything. Iron Man makes sense.
Iron Man does make sense.
Doctor Strange is Leonard Nimoy in The Simpsons. You've done nothing. Oh, haven't I?
Haven't I?
Didn't do anything. On a side note, it's in an article. It does mention that Black Panther is referenced at Avengers Con, but I can't find any visual reference right now during the pod.
Okay.
Like I said, there is, like, people know he exists through that chase scene, and that is it. Like, he's, as far as being a hero, I don't think they've seen him do anything heroic.
Yeah. I really still think that there was like full 100% footage of the Endgame fight.
I think so too. Just the way people talk about it There's no like there has to be the way like standard people in the MCU discuss it. Like, oh yeah, I saw that thing.
Like,
That
do
was
you
so
think
sick.
do you think Spielberg makes like a Band of Brothers style sort of
Probably.
like
HBO buys a
Yeah.
12-part series? What? But my question is, even with that being said, like, how do you pick Black Panther out of rooting for Rescue or Wasp or Captain
What's
Nobody's
with
rooting
you and
for Rescue.
Pepper? What is it with
No
you and
one's
Pepper?
rooting
for Rescue.
What's going on?
No one.
I'm
is
just
rooting
saying,
for Rescue.
what did he do? What did he do
Fuck
in that
outta
fight
here.
that stands out? Like, if you're
He
recording
lit-
anything, it's that
Good.
that fight. It's Captain America and the Shield and Mjolnir is what you're like. Oh, that is defining of that fight. Or it's Tony dying for everybody. That's defining. Everybody else in between, there's just a mass of people fighting. Like, how do you pick out like, oh, Black Panther? That's who Black Twitter's going to get behind.
He was the first one to take a knee after Tony died. He was the first one, so that's why.
Was he?
And Tony, Tony was recording the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. But
I'm just thinking
Friday,
one
Friday
of those,
has like satellites up.
yeah,
and-
like one of those nanobots is a camera each. That's it.
like, I can see you rooting for Spider-Man when he has the gauntlet. You're like rooting for him to like do whatever if you're watching it. Like, thematically speaking, I don't see how you pick out Black Panther like that. That guy right there deserves a legacy.
Spider-Man picks up Black Panther at one point, doesn't he?
No, he takes the thing from
gauntlet. He takes the gauntlet.
I thought they both were swinging at one point.
him. He ends up pounding the ground and tossing it
before he gets
submerged.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, no, there's a Black Panther Spider-Man moment.
There's a handoff.
Yeah. There's a handoff.
Stark Raving Hazelnut, by the way, is the name of the ice cream. Anyways. So I think we kind of touched base on most of the points of the movie.
Did we do it?
I have one question.
We did.
What happens to
Mission
Ironheart at this
accomplished.
point?
She
she gets
She's going to prison for a long time. Long time.
Oh, and well, here's the thing too that we didn't cover because we're anti Martin
Yeah, we can
Freeman,
just skip it. It's fine.
but Contessa Valentina DeFontaine, she says at one point that she had the camellia beads bugged. Thank you.
Bugged.
So they arrest Everett Ross, and then he's broken free by Okoye in the Midnight Angel suit. And also we know that moving forward that Alexis DeFontaine is going to be doing the Thunderbolts. So like that's also another thing that's kind of like, built
Martin
up.
Freeman is a fugitive because of treason.
Mhm.
Just from the U.S. perspective, that's treason. So
yeah.
So
he's going to be shoot on sight. Like it's
you're on the
not
side
like
of big government.
Well, let's be honest. Like, he's
I'm not
wanted to
upset,
live
I'm
in
just
Wakanda
telling
for
you
a
what's
while.
like. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
he's getting his wish.
Yeah. He's
taking up Bucky's spot.
He
He's
has
been
a-
moving to his apartment.
Yeah,
I just
there's
feel
a
like
nice
he has a
extradition
type.
treaty somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know,
good.
no,
The white man apartment.
Let's be real honest. He has a type now.
Yeah. He. When
Like
does he?
powerful black women that save lives is his new type now.
At what point does Okoye break his heart when she reveals she's married?
Oh,
Do we
no.
see that on camera?
I mean,
Or is
her
that
man,
off camera?
her man is still in jail though.
Are they separated?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Wait.
I know they're physically
Lupita,
separated.
Nakia is free right at the moment, and
True.
you basically have a
No.
supermodel who's
No.
like.
But she also lives
capable
outside of
people,
Wakanda though.
Basically,
No,
In Haiti, is there-
he
Hey,
cannot be new
T'Challa's dad?
T'Challa's
Hey.
stepfather.
I've grown very fond of them, and I would save them if I can.
No,
she
No.
is a.
I want to watch a
supermodel
show like
who's
that.
basically Kim Possible, and
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Let's make it a
she's
show.
like
Come on, Disney,
100%.
make it a show. I dare
he
you to.
cannot be
Exactly.
raised by Bilbo Baggins.
She's
Oh,
she's
can't he?
100%. She has 100% mission success rate. Basically,
Mhm.
she's like
She's battle tested.
Laserbeak
I'm not
or
saying
Ravage
he
from
wouldn't
Transformers.
want to.
What's that?
I'm not
Oh,
saying
that's
he
what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
want to.
And if he
I'm
doesn't,
saying
I'll
Disney
take his
should.
place, and they can cast me and get me a personal trainer and
As
man.
a nutritionist, and I'll be right there. I'll learn Spanish.
As
and
what
we'll
a
role?
lot.
I'll learn
You know.
Spanish.
It's a
what
lot of
role are you
investment.
taking?
Whatever role they'll give him. All right.
Yeah,
Whatever role they'll give him.
Buff translator? What is this we're getting out of you?
That's Nakia's father right there. You didn't know?
Yeah, you
gotta work on that. You gotta work on that African accent.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta be a love interest. I'm sorry.
There it is.
You're really asking a lot here, Dixon, for nothing.
He's like beggars can be choosers, so
He'll,
right?
he'll work. He'll work for scale. He'll work for scale.
Absolutely.
Nothing's what he's getting. Love interest. Get out of here.
And if and when Lupita watches this, I'm here in Long Beach, we can have a conversation.
My other question, ignoring all of the he just said, my other question is: can she reproduce more flowers now that she can synthetically make it?
100%.
We see that. We see that happen in the movie.
She planted 12 flowers in a garden.
Okay.
She started a garden.
Yeah, we do see that.
Okay, so there can be other Black Panthers now.
Yes, a whole council if you wanted.
A council of Black Panthers.
Go. All right, nice. All right, I was just wondering because
everybody with their own suit.
She still has the ability, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna wander the land like Hulk, put her thumb out and go to the next adventure.
They really hurt you with the Hulk, and I'm very sorry about that, Kareem.
Yeah,
they screwed me.
It's dirty pool. I can only hope they fix it with Secret Wars.
You know what you call a group of panthers? A claw.
A conglomerate.
That's pretty cool.
A claw.
I like that.
He's looking to form the claw of panthers.
Wait, why is that not a comic title?
Patent pending.
That is pretty fucking cool. So yeah, they can form the claw.
It's like a murder of crows, or I don't like pot of whales seems weak, but a murder of crows seems pretty awesome.
Ham sandwich of pigs.
Another question I had is, do you think we get a third movie?
Yes.
You think so?
I would be curious, knowing one, it's a lot. It's
right, yeah.
Mainly because we're doing the thing that like manga does versus comics was. This has been Ryan Coogler's story each time. It is the same.
Exactly, yeah.
Same creative people behind the scenes for the most part. This isn't like, oh, hey, this time it's this person, this time it's this person. Like there's far more consistency at the wheel, continuity, consistency in the creative team. So I think that there's potential there. I don't know after Creed 4 what's going to happen. So I mean,
Creed 3, right?
Contiguous storyline.
Well, I was to say, what story is left to tell?
Doesn't matter. The movie made $800 million worldwide. We're getting a part 3.
And lots of money. Play.
I think I think a good way to move forward would be an anthology series on Wakanda, each episode taking each character through a story. So you have an M'Baku episode, you have a Nakia episode, you have stories of different Wakandan characters, and we kind of get glimpses into all their stuff, and then you do the fast thing, and at the last episode, everyone kind of comes together for some kind of.
Oh no, I agree with you. I think as far as the show is concerned, but to Pat's point though, that it made so much money, I just don't see what story you have left to tell in a third one where everyone's dead.
Well, in the third one, you have the story of T'Challa, son of T'Challa. That's the third story.
Yeah,
which could be.
But what is it though? Like what? Because again, in between him growing up, is still Shuri being Black Panther, right? Assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, Kareem, this is what's going to happen. What's going to happen is we're going to get the multiverse of. We got the multiverse of madness. So we got ultimate planes of existence, right? We're going to have
like 1 or 2.
We're going to have.
Let go, Ken.
Ant-Man.
Let go.
We're going to have Ant-Man and. I forgot the name. What's the name of the new movie?
Quantumania.
So we've now firmly entrenched into different planes of reality and different timelines. We're going to go back. They're going to introduce the Fantastic Four, X-Men. They're going to do a Doom War where Doom has to go and try to attack Wakanda. That's why they're going to have an aged up T'Challa. That's why they gave him the same name. And that could be a Black Panther 3, where you've introduced all these people. Now you can have you can take more classic comic book stories and just straight go through them.
Yeah, but my point. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, I was going to say too, like we couldn't even have a new Black Panther film until what, Phase 7?
That's what I'm saying. Like
they're okay with that.
We wait all the way till Phase 7 to have a Black Panther 3. Does it, one, carry the same weight? Two, does it even introduce anything new that like we got out of this story? Go ahead.
We don't. We don't know yet because we don't know what Phase 5 and 6 look like yet, and I think that's going to dictate. It's all speculation. Like we think there's going to be time travel and like we know there's going to be multiple. Like you can see what they may be building to, but they could throw a curve on that pretty quick. So I just don't think we know yet.
Yeah. I think too to that point is that saying that we don't get a Black Panther 3 until Phase 7. I disagree. I think if Ryan Coogler comes and says, you know what, I've got a great idea for a story. It's in me now. I want to do it. They cut the check. Boom.
It.
There you go. Yeah, here's your money.
No,
you're in Phase 6.
Phase 7 is Shi'ar Empire.
Is that
that's what we're doing right now? Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think we get X-Men until after Phase 7. The way fucking Marvel's moving.
I mean,
Nerd people.
We get Hellfire Club. We get
we get all that Phase 8.
We get Genosha.
We're just Dark Phoenixing. We're just Dark Phoenixing right off the bat.
No,
not again.
Phase 7 is Dark Phoenix 2. You'll
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, it's electric, all right. Wait,
yeah. Phase 7 is Rachel Summers.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Boo.
Phase 7 is X of Swords. Oh yeah,
yes.
No, we're going.
Wait, hold on.
Pat's
if we're
absolutely
doing
Hellfire
right Club. Can we also get fair? Do we also what Emma Frost are we getting? Are we getting coked out evil Emma? Or are we getting coked out good Emma?
We're getting both because
coked out evil.
Because
multiverse.
No, we're getting both because time travel.
All right, there we go. I'm in. I'm 100%. Jason,
I mean, again, I would definitely go watch a Black Panther 3, but I also feel like if Coogler were to leave and be like, that's the end of what I'm doing as far as Black Panther is concerned, I'd be satisfied. I feel like summing up T'Challa is like, say you throw him in as an adult in another movie saying like, okay, this is me from another, or time travel, like this is me growing up. You don't need to have an entire movie of him learning to be Black Panther. I don't think. I think
were you just complaining about the Hulk?
What do you mean?
Well, you were just saying like how you didn't like how the Hulk was nerfed and how they like he's a side character in other people's stories, and now you're doing that to Black Panther.
I didn't. No, I mean nerfed as far as his power. I don't mean his storyline. Like,
okay,
I would like more solo Hulk movies, but even as a sidekick, he kept getting weaker as the movies kept going on.
That's
what's upsetting me. Like if you're gonna make him powerful, let him be a powerful side character when he shows up, and you're like, hey, I want to root for that. We know what to expect out of him. But every time he showed up, you're like, oh, he just got weaker. He lost another person. Yeah, he kept losing to everybody. The last, I want to say the last fight that he won, actually outright won, was in Avengers. His last battle that he won was in Avengers.
He fought
against Loki.
No, he beat Thor.
Against Loki.
He beat Thor.
He beat Thor. Loki. No, he beat Thor in the
ring. Got cheated.
In the ring on Sakaar, he beat Thor.
Yeah, when Jeff Goldblum cheated.
But he still beat him. Like,
he cheated.
No.
Okay, so then.
Whoa!
You're saying the shit out of him.
You're saying that's not a win, and we've been talking about sucker punching this entire time.
Well, no, I'm saying up until Jeff Goldblum hits the switch, Thor was beating the shit, like was about to beat the hell out of him. He somehow he Kakarot the shit. It got even stronger somehow during that fight. Thor did. And it was Jeff Goldblum basically, yeah. Electrical powers. But Jeff Goldblum jumped in it and saved Hulk. But that again, the last outright battle where you say he went toe to toe with somebody and won was Loki. That wasn't really a fight.
He decimated
some massacre.
Ultron bots
he didn't beat Ultron though. Yeah, everyone beat the bots though.
Well, no, the only person who beat Ultron was, if we're counting it that way, was Vision.
Yeah. Okay, my point is everyone beat the bot. The bots were fodder. He lost to Tony in the Hulkbuster suit. He loses to Thor. He loses to who else did he lose to? He loses to Thanos. Doesn't even show up in the second half of it.
You're really shattering some glass for me right now, man.
Wait, didn't he win against Fenris?
Who?
He did.
The dog?
He did win against Fenris. Yeah, he beat
won
Fenris.
against Fenris.
He threw him off the bridge.
A win is a win.
A win is a that's like if I'm gonna give you the
win.
Hulk one in Scar because of that, but at least Fenris, you got to give him Fenris. Like he didn't beat Surtur,
Hela.
like Hela or Hela.
So he didn't,
Yeah, he didn't either of them, but he
Hela
beat
or
Fenris.
Now,
Fenris
is Fenris second tier in the tiers of bad guys that we were fighting? Yes, definitely. But I feel like a win's a win.
Okay, all right. So I suppose that was his last win, was beating up a dog, a giant dog.
I don't know why
that makes
mythological.
Apparently that's all he can beat is giant dogs.
Yeah, on film, he just beats dogs' asses.
All that reminds me of is like it's like I challenged a 6-year-old to this and I beat him. I took a 6-year-old to court and I beat him. Guys, I had the worst day of my life. That's what that.
Yeah.
That's
So he can beat dogs, and he was still struggling with that one.
I mean, but okay.
Fenris is powerful.
I've said it before.
I'm not saying he wasn't.
When's the last time you beat Fenris?
Last time it was Hulk, I guess. Never.
All right, then maybe don't be calling
I'm just
Banner
saying,
out like that.
Out of all the battles he's had, he barely beats the dog. After the only as powerful as they say he's supposed to be, he beats Loki, who wasn't really a fight, and he tosses the dog off a bridge, barely.
I'm not jealous of Hulk fans right now.
Yeah, it's sad.
No.
Yeah, they've got a lot of complaints that can be aired.
Yeah, you shattered a whole bunch of glass for me today, Kareem.
Sad.
Yeah.
And then he gets nerfed by his cousin already in the show.
I mean, I think it was kind of show that he's more powerful, but she out strategied him, and then people said, no, we don't want to see those types of battles. She's pulling herself up by her bootstraps. We're against that stuff. So I don't know what to think anymore. Oh, Land of Fate got tired.
Dixon couldn't take it.
Yeah, he's like, how dare you?
We start talking about the female Hulk. I'm fucking out of here.
Lady,
Go back to the man.
Hulk. I'm tired of this woke Hulkness going on.
But to that point, though, I feel like you could easily say this is T'Challa grown up, and we don't need a whole movie for it.
That's why my TV show
as a
idea
third
works.
one. Yeah, I love your TV show idea.
The TV show idea is great. I think we're getting a third movie. I think
to your point, Pat. Yeah, money talks.
I think it's going to tie into the Namor, Doom, Fantastic Four stuff. I think that's like a war of nations between Taco.
I feel like it's going to get super crowded at that point. And I'm just saying, I don't want to have Coogler's legacy, so to speak.
I don't think Coogler
become a Whedon kind of situation with Ultron, where you're like, we have to introduce Doom, we have to make sure that Namor's still there, and we still have to give Wakanda its like time. And you're like, well, you're juggling too many things to try and get this story off the ground.
They've done it before successfully with Infinity War and Endgame. Like, as long as it's
not really though. Those are singular stories.
But also not since then. Like everything since Endgame, there are so many detractors saying like this isn't as good as Marvel Universe has gone downhill. It's like you set the bar so high. Like it's so impossible to clear after those two massive movies. I mean, I even Captain Marvel, I think, suffered from Infinity War because they were like, no, you just gave us this, and now we're back to a single hero. You just gave me a cornucopia of heroes, and now I've got one.
But I also feel like those two movies were the culmination of a bunch of stories that were still driving towards a certain point. I feel like with the third Black Panther, the way that we have all these other things to introduce, the Fantastic Four and all that stuff, you're going to run into the Ultron of Avenger stuff versus the Endgame. Endgame was like, Endgame was like, we need to do this one thing, and we have a bunch of people all going towards this one thing, but Ultron was like, no, we have to do this. Hold on for a second. Let's jump over here and do this. Oh, we just introduced these two new people. Let's focus on them, and let's get back to this main story of like Tony fucking up everything, and then we'll like at the very end have a big fight scene that washes over everything, and hopefully nobody notices.
I think it is a real
because he
concern,
picked up the hammer, dude. he picked up the hammer,
Shit was cool.
and Thor knew it. Like that,
he nudged it.
He just that was like, yes, there's lots of stuff that happens in there, but you're just like, it all washes away when that hammer comes, like, and you're just like,
yeah. No, that was pretty sick.
You know what? You're making me want to watch that tonight.
Well,
no, why don't you go watch some Hulk stuff?
Yeah, it is pretty late.
Watch that guy fucking lose.
No. If I'm watching any Hulk stuff, it's gonna have to be the cartoon where Hulk,
of course,
goes to Asgard, because that was freaking awesome. Like all the cartoon stuff, it's fantastic. When they nerf the Hulk, you just cry in your heart a little bit because you're like, "Come on, guys, what are you doing?"
Not all the cartoon stuff. There's some dumb ones there.
Yeah, there's some dumb ones, but there are much better ones than there are dumb more often.
Yeah. And now I don't feel so bad when they say Namor is as strong as the Hulk, because they're like, okay, he's as strong as a nerfed Hulk, because
no, he's like as strong Hulk, as Hulk from the Avengers, not the Hulk we have now.
Well, I think he's as strong as the Hulk we have now, because the Hulk from the Avengers is like Hulk from Hulk
Savage Hulk is
315, where he fought Namor and Wonder Man and Iron Man and Doc Samson all at the same time, and he's tossing them around like children. But now
Hulk from the Avengers would do that.
Hulk is way stronger than that Hulk when he was tossing around everybody anyway.
You mean in the comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the MCU. Yeah. The Hulk we have now is much weaker.
He can lift whole cars and loaves of bread.
Wait.
Not at the same time.
Make the hardest sandwich.
Not at the same time.
Not the bread in the car. That's tough.
Yeah. They screwed us.
Well, as we expected with a Black Panther podcast, we ended up on the Hulk.
God! Oh no, the white man wins again.
Does anybody have any last thoughts about the movie?
Hold another one out.
The franchise.
My last thoughts on the podcast is that while you're doing your podcast magic, you throw that little song in there. Stronger than the whale, he can swim anywhere. He can breathe on the water and go flying through the air. The noble submariner, prince of the deep, can be wary, deadly sea monsters. For favor of Atlantic, he's the prince of the deep. It's those.
Any editor's notes can be entered into the chat after the pod.
Where do I put that?
It's okay.
In the Discord.
We got it in real time. See, the best part is I'm just gonna put that song over his last part of talking, so it's gonna have him moving his fingers and stuff, and the song just going
louder.
Yeah.
So it's like when Captain America
it's the Oscars.
Shield.
Yes.
All
those
off
who
stage.
chose to oppose his shield, but shield. When he gets in the fight, the duel is due, and the red and the white and the blue come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
I'll see if I can find that.
Yes.
Sometimes you guys make me remember that I'm the youngest one.
Yeah.
I should remind you of that all the time. You can just see the gray in my whiskers.
How about you, Pat? Your last thoughts that aren't a song about a shitty character?
It's not a song, no. I don't have anything outside of, because we've been doing this long enough now, and I'm punch drunk. It was a fantastic film, and it was a wonderful experience, and you could really see the love that everyone brought to it for Chadwick Boseman, and just kind of watch them work through that was really well done. Also, fuck Everett Ross.
How dare you? Ross is hardcore now. He's Wakandan. You hating Wakandans now, Pat? Yeah, you would.
Ouch.
Last words, Ken, that aren't racist.
Oh, damn. Unfortunately,
oh damn, that's where I was going.
I was really gonna go that way.
That bar is super low.
I really appreciate.
Ken still couldn't get over it.
I really appreciate the transitioning of Namor into a Latin character and giving it more backstory, as opposed to just like, he's just a white dude in the water. That's all that he is. There's no difference to him than anyone else. And the representation that brought to a lot of viewers, and that they also, now, like after I saw people online, like some people who were after the movie, some of the black viewers doing the Wakandan Forever thing, and then some were doing the Tokokan, like the Jaws thing. And like, I thought that was awesome. Like, I didn't even see that coming out of the end. I'm like, that's a great moment. And I think that's something that has been missing for certain people back when Dixon's point about hero clicks. So can we talk about like, oh, there's not enough black hero clicks. And like one of our friends was like, well, there's not enough, Mexican hero clicks. And there's like probably 2. And
yeah.
So it's like, you don't have that. This brought representation to a role that was needed. And it's I'm sorry, maybe not to a role, but to a spot that was able to fill a gap, because otherwise it was just kind of like, there's a dude. And that's probably one thing that I don't think we talked about too much, but I think it was a really great moment for me in the film, is seeing that for other people, being like, they get, that representation for others, like, oh, they get to have their moment. Like when the day when we get Thai Fam, the Vietnamese Green Lantern on screen, I'm just gonna fucking like, yes, like that moment will be good. And yeah, that's the type of stuff like that's probably my biggest takeaway that wasn't already mentioned.
Is that from Batman Beyond?
No, that is a different character. I'm trying to remember his name. Thai Fam is from a new DC Kids line, which I do recommend. Check your local listings. We can probably get a affiliate link at Amazon for you if you want that, or go to your local comic book store and look for Green Lantern Allegiance and Green Lantern Legacy. So,
what about you, JPG?
Wave beats Namor. I will be taking no questions.
Who does?
Wave.
Well, that's because Wave makes everything for cost.
Bringing it back to Marvel Snap, everyone.
I appreciate the jokes. Thank you.
Happy to help.
I guess that's it.
I'm trying to think,
Thank
like,
you guys.
in that fight now, like when she's like, it's like, I'm gonna dry you out. Like, no, I'm gonna make you more wet. Ha ha. Oh, okay.
Oh, I think
more powerful.
Yeah.
Only one
bad
person.
Strategy.
Jason, did you want to give where your social media stuff to end your podcast?
Oh, I was gonna NBR end it again.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Okay. What do you got for us?
Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere. He can breathe underwater and go flying through the air. The noble submariner, prince of the deep, truly very demon. Lord Damer of Atlantis is the prince of the deep.